And Sobo works really well with polymer clay. I'll just put a little on my brush and coat the inside of my bezel with the glue. Don't worry about being messy. You're going to cover it up with polymer clay. And then let that dry until it's dry to your finger. You don't want it to be wet when you're trying to pressure polymer clay in there. I've rolled out some different colors of polymer clay, and a good way to come up with a color palette is to start with a base color. And believe it or not, this bright red color was my base color that I mixed with each of these colors, and it gives them a unified look to them and a very nice color palette. So that's a fun little color theory trick, is if you just add one color to each of your colors. So I'll start with my first one and soften my clay. And just use your fingers. And this brand of clay that I'm using is called Primo, but you can use any type of polymer clay that you prefer. And just roll it around and get it nice and soft, because you want it soft when you put it in that bezel. You can see in my bezel here that the glue has started to dry there, and I'm ready to go ahead and put my polymer clay inside. It doesn't take much. Take your polymer clay. I'm going to roughly shape it to fit in that bezel, and just use your fingers to push it into the bezel. Now I want this clay to be level with my bezel, so I'm going to use my craft knife to help me out here. Just use your craft knife along the top to remove the excess clay. And keep working the clay in until you've filled your bezel to the top. If you fill your bezels like this, then you won't risk any of your clay wanting to come out. Pushing this with my thumbs. Got some in the holes there. Remove all the excess as you're working here. Okay, just about got it. And as soon as you have that polymer clay in there, then you can use your other colors to decorate the surface. And it's nice to use a very good contrasting color. So I can put a little dot of clay, and polymer clay sticks to itself, so you can go ahead and just press it well. And maybe make a little dot in the center. And then you continue to fill all of your bezels like this and make sure that the polymer clay is level with the surface. And then you're ready to bake your polymer clay. Now, because your metal clay has already been fired, you can put this in the oven, in an ordinary toaster oven or a home oven at 275 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 minutes. And it will fire and cure the polymer clay just fine in the metal clay. And then you're ready to go ahead and link your pieces together. I use jump rings like these, and just use pliers to go through the hole on each side and attach all of your links together. And then you'll notice that on my bracelet, I decided to make a toggle using the same cookie cutter, except for cutting all the way through the middle to make the loop and toggle so it matches the design of the bracelet. And then the other end was just a straight piece of clay that I used a head pin looped through with a few jump rings. And that way you've got a nice closure for your bracelet. You just want to make sure that when you make a toggle, that the length of this bar part is longer than any of the openings on your loop, on your open loop here. And then also that it can fit through perpendicular wise too, that you don't have too much width with your head pin and your toggle, that it can fit through this way. And then you're complete. You've got your completed bracelet ready to wear.
Join Sherry Hobb in her other full-length metal clay and resin jewelry workshops from Creative Catalyst. Be sure to check out the other Creative Catalyst mixed media workshops. Watch previews on this DVD and on the web at www.ccpvideos.com.